And welcome to the Montana Sportscast podcast. As we have Chris Stratton on with us today. Chris, how was your weekend?
It was a little bit crazy, getting towards the end of the season. So I usually pack myself full of games coming into the end. That way I'm prepped and ready for postseason. My voice, I should say, is prepped and ready for the voice for the postseason, and just kind of worked through that and started to come down with a little bit of a head cold. So battling that before we get into tournament season here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's not good to be sick during tournament, that's for sure.
No, as a broadcaster, that's one of the things that you try to stay away from.
Yeah, the vitamin C and the hot tea and honey and all those old remedies that Grandma used to tell us. I think they
Yeah,
still work.
yeah, a lot of lemon tea and I use Rocky's remedies with lots of cough drops there on the table. I usually, I do pretty well of uh, taking in the water, the proper amount, and everything like that. But when you start feeling down, I start building on what Rocky does with all of the cough drops he has out on the table there, and suck on those like candy.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Well, what do you have about basketball today?
Well, as I said, I had 8 games last week, all double headers, crosstown games. Got to see all 5 of the high schools last week, and just getting ready for this postseason as Class C and Class B do their district tournaments this week. Class A, and just getting ready for that. And want to start with the Class C with Valley Christian. Those boys, they're peaking at the right time. They're going to Hamilton this weekend for the Class C district tournament for 13C, and those Valley Christian boys, they've been a build year after year, just one rung at a time up the ladder, as I always say, and it was fun to watch them. They took on St. Regis, which has got some great skilled players. Um, out there west of us, and the girls, they're young, so they're still building. They've only got one senior on the squad, a couple of juniors, and the rest of them are sophomores and freshmen. And so the girls, they're battling, they're doing what they need to do, they're making those progressions like they need to. And you can't always take a look at what's going on the scoreboard, as far as how a team's progressing. When you're a broadcaster, you get to see them, you get to see the beginning of the season and the end of the season and the progression, and they're making the right moves. They're doing well. But on the boys' side, I think the boys have a pretty good chance of getting some advancement. I think they sit in the number 5 seed in 13C district. So those 4 or 5 games at district and at divisional and at state, those are always the most interesting games of the tournament. So I'm excited to see how well they do on Thursday in Hamilton, and then make it through Friday and Saturday. I think this year is one of the best years that Valley Christian has a chance to advance through there. And they've got their younger talent stepping up and making progress. And so I'm excited for the Valley Christian boys this weekend.
Okay, and that tournament's down in Hamilton, you said?
Yep. Hamilton High
Okay.
School. Yep. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to get a chance to get down on Thursday to watch a little bit. Friday, I have a double header. It's the Battle of the Golden Goat between Big Sky and Hellgate. I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but um, just going to be exciting for these young men at district tournament for Valley Christian. And then um, Class B district starts this week as well. And Class B, I don't get to see Class A, so because I don't have any that I cover. I mean, Frenchtown is Class A, but with what I have going on, I don't get a chance to see too much of Frenchtown. Um, but with Class B, they're going to have they have a play-in game tomorrow. Loyola does not, but there's a play-in game tomorrow for the 6B district, and then I believe the girls play on Thursday, and then the boys play on Friday, at home here in in Missoula, and then Saturday everybody heads to Anaconda and plays games there. I'm going to be over there on Saturday, calling some games for Loyola over there. And Loyola, they've got some good momentum going in. The girls are playing well. They had a tough one against Anaconda on Saturday. The Anaconda girls, they've got a double dose of danger because of the fact that they've got some outside shooters, but they've also got a couple of girls that really know how to work the paint. They know positioning. They know how to block out. And they were crashing the boards. Anaconda girls were. So they were making it tough for Loyola. Loyola, they kept it close, but the fourth quarter, Anaconda just was able to step on the gas pedal and get the win on Saturday night. And then the boys' side, Anaconda's got a good group of boys. They're coached by Dakota Norris, who had been at Deer Lodge, or I mean, at Deer Lodge for a while. And I love watching Dakota's basketball. His bread and butter is defense, and then outside shooting. And when he was at Deer Lodge, the Wardens, they played lights out basketball. They always gave Loyola a headache. And once again, Coach Norris brings his Anaconda team into Missoula, and they played exceptional basketball. But um, Loyola is peaking right now. They've got some great young players that are playing. One young man I want to point out, Noah Haffey, 8 for 13 from the 3 point line, shot 62% from outside, and also threw in 4 blocks and steal. I mean, 4 rebounds, a steal, and a block. So that young man at 6'3", he's working the paint in the number 4 spot, but then he steps out behind that arc, and um, just before half, the Rams had a run where Haffey was 4 for 4 from beyond the arc in that game, and
Wow.
it was just amazing to watch the young man shoot. And it's not, it's pure shooting. It's reminds me of Larry Bird shooting. I mean, just not so much the form, but just the way he hits the net. It doesn't hit the rim, and the net barely moves, and you've got a pure shooter when the ball is just slipping right through the net.
Yeah, that's definitely fun to watch, and it's a huge momentum builder when you can hit 4 threes in a row like that.
Yeah, Noah had a total of 24 points on the night. Um, and yeah, just shot lights out from the beyond the arc, and that's dangerous. You've got a big guy that can step behind the 3 point line and knock him down. So I'm excited for the Loyola boys going into this tournament on Saturday. Of course, they do play on Friday. I think they are playing Deer Lodge here on Friday, and then Saturday everybody goes over and then they get ready for the divisional tournament next weekend. I believe that is back in Anaconda. So the Snake Pit's going to be a riot the next couple of weekends.
Yeah, I had Blake on earlier, and he's pretty excited about having that in his home gym there, but also the town of Anaconda pretty excited about being able to host these tournaments as well.
Yeah, and I've talked about it before. The Snake Pit, one of my favorite places to go and watch basketball. Tough competition. Even before I started broadcasting, my youngest son played for Big Sky, and he went over and played Anaconda a few times. And it's a fun atmosphere. They do a phenomenal job over there in Anaconda, and yeah, the Snake Pit's a great place.
Yeah, I might actually try to get up there for one of those first round divisional games. We'll see. We'll see how things go. See, see where the biggest fire is that I get to try to put out at that time. But yeah, it's definitely fun. That Loyola bunch, the boys. I think you're right. I think that they're peaking, maybe peaking at the right time, Chris. But they're an awful good ball club.
Yeah, there and I don't know the eastern side of the state as well, but I know that there's some teams over there that are going to give Loyola a run for their money. And here in the West, Big Fork's always tough. I think Coach Norris is going to go to go to the drawing board, and he's going to have some stuff ready for them if they have to play Loyola again over there at the divisional tournament or at the district tournament and in the divisional. So there's some good basketball that's played right now in this western side of the state.
Well, that's good. That makes it a lot more fun to do those games when they're exciting and close than when they're not. That's for sure.
And the cool thing is Anaconda travels so well, so it was a packed gym. They Rams had their student section, and then during the girls' game, for the most part, the boys were making up a student section over there, and then during the boys' game, because the girls played first, during the boys' game, the girls were just packed in there and cheering on the boys and the fans, and Anaconda's a sports town. It's
Oh yeah.
it's it's known for Goosetown softball, but man, it is such a great sports community. Anaconda is so I'm excited for them to be able to host that divisional and the district tournaments coming up.
All right. Any double A? You got anything on that?
Yeah, we had Crosstown last week. Hellgate was at Sentinel on Tuesday. Big Sky was at Sentinel on Friday. Those Crosstown games, they always breed great action. And Hellgate, they're at the top of the class right now. And Coach Hayes doing a great job preparing those boys and Coach Keast for the girls. And I think it's going to be tough this year. Alex Colville, the center for Hellgate girls, she's shooting some great ball. She's getting outside the box and she's shooting those jumpers and knocking down some great shots. So it's going to be fun to watch those Hellgate girls. But after watching this last week, I think Big Sky is one of the scariest. The Big Sky girls, excuse me, and maybe even the boys are going to be the scariest ones at this divisional tournament. We've talked about it. There's 6 out of 8 teams that we have to whittle down to 4, and it's going to be tough sledding in Kalispell at Flathead High at the beginning of March for that divisional tournament. And the Big Sky girls, they're playing some really great basketball. And then on the boys' side, Sentinel boys, they've been struggling. They broke their losing streak with a great win over Big Sky. That game went back and forth. I almost lost my voice during the boys' game because it was just such exciting action between those two teams. And the thing that stands out is, last year Trevor Roush, the senior, last year he was a leader for them, and Riley Allen was pitching in. This year, Coach Mackey has schemed up a little bit different because he's got a different lineup, and so Trevor has taken a little bit of a back seat. But over the last couple of weeks, Trevor has really emerged, and he took over that game in the paint, and he didn't have a whole lot of points, but what he was doing in the paint on rebounds, and distribution is a big thing for that Sentinel program, and that's what Sentinel needs. Is they need Roush to just take over the game and let him play basketball. And I think Sentinel has the ability to be successful and maybe challenge some of these teams on the western side at the divisional tournament.
Yeah, that's tournament time. That's why you play the games. You just never know, and especially at the double A level, those teams seem to, they improve throughout the year, and the athletes start stepping up and playing better. It seems like the double A teams peak more at tournament time than the other 3 classes do, I think.
Yeah, and then the girls' side of that was very exciting as well. Big Sky girls handled their business, took down Sentinel girls, and Avery DeCoit. She had a great night. The freshman ball handler, she had been their turnover leader, and she really just screwed down the hatch and was very conservative, or was very careful with the ball, did what she needed to do, and then everybody else stepped in and took care of business. And what Coach Williams has got going on over there is a good thing, and I hope that he's going to be able to stick around on Thursday before the game. I was talking to some of the parents for the girls, and you know the what they've done with Double A basketball, well, in basketball in general, is these summer tournaments, going and playing in these tournaments in the summertime, and getting the kids. Um, Camaraderie, working together, so that when they come together during the season, they work better together. And that's one thing that Big Sky has lacked, is they haven't had consistency as a head coach to be able to take them to these summer tournaments and to be able to work them through those. And that was something that improved Hellgate, Sentinel, on both sides of the ball. And I think if Big Sky girls are able to go and play with these younger girls this summer and have consistency with Coach Williams through those summer tournaments, I think Big Sky is going to be a emerge next year and be a big threat on the western side of the state.
All right, that sounds good. And you got a big weekend, big game coming up. Is this going to be at the Adams Center?
Yeah, so we've got the Battle of the Golden Goat, and I love this. Growing up here in Missoula, having gone to Big Sky, I always wondered why they didn't have some sort. We do for wrestling. They battle for the axe for wrestling. Football has a little bit of a crosstown, but basketball never really has. And they came up with the Battle of the Golden Goat about 5 years ago, and it's more than just the basketball portion of it. There's team spirit. There's the fans. The half times are going to be longer, and the school's put together with teachers and the dance team and the cheer squad doing performances at halftime, and they've got kids in on timeouts and during quarter breaks out getting the fans roaring. And I mean, it's just a great atmosphere. Plus, you played at the Adams Center, and they always pack that venue for this event. And this is the first year that Big Sky is going to get to participate in it. They're taking on Hellgate. I think the boys' side of things might be a little bit lopsided, but on the girls' side, I think the Hellgate girls, it's going to be tough with Coville, but I think the Big Sky girls are going to be able to stick it out with the Hellgate girls on Friday night.
All right, that sounds like fun, and those kind of things are always great, especially and your crosstown games are always exciting anyway, Chris. But when you add something and like the goat and all that, and the curricular stuff that goes on with the fans and everything, and the student bodies, that just makes it that much more fun.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. SWX is going to be there. They're going to be airing it, but they go a step further. And, during commercial breaks and stuff like that, one of their broadcasters is going to be out on the floor firing up the crowd. And, SWX gets involved with it. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about doing the Golden Goat on Friday night. And, been feeling a little bit under the weather with a head cold. So, I'm hoping I can battle through it and be there and ready for Friday night's game.
Well, I hate to keep you talking, Chris, and we'll kind of wrap it up. If you don't have anything, we'll let you go and take care of that cold in your throat and get you ready for the weekend and tournaments.
Well, I want to wrap it up with our key players, as we always do every week, and it's Noah Haffey for Loyola boys.
Right.
8 for 13, rebounding, block shots, steals, being very active on the defensive side, and firing the boys up. That was just so much fun to watch. It was senior night, and so Noah Haffey is my key player for the boys' side of thing. On the girls' side, it's got to be Avery DeCoit. That young lady is a freshman. Just between the previous week and this last week, her maturity level had changed so much, and it was fun to watch her. Her parents, they were so excited with her efforts, the team and everybody. DeCoit is just Avery's just standing out and doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, good for her. She's a freshman.
Yeah, she's a freshman. So, she gets a little bit of maturity. Maybe they get to play in some of these summer tournaments this summer. I think Avery DeCoite's going to emerge next year as a sophomore, and she's going to will those Eagles to some great wins.
What is Happy? Is he? What grade's he in, Chris?
Noah is a junior.
Junior. Okay, so he's got another year too, huh?
Yeah, and at the end of the game, coaches like to put in those JV players, the swing players, and throw them in. And Carter Top, he came in and knocked down some great shots in the closing minutes of that game. The other senior, Jack Finesse, he came in and just played some great defense against the Anaconda starters. So, that Loyola boys program, we're going to see them be exciting for the next couple of years.
All right. Well, want to thank you once again for coming on, Chris, and look forward to talking to you next week as we get a little bit deeper into this tournament run and a little bit better idea where we're going to be, um, all headed to that state championship game in March.
I'm very excited about that, and every day I have to rein myself in because we're getting closer to that divisional tournament at Flathead High School, and I'm the regular season has been great, but I feel like that divisional tournament for AA at Flathead High School, the first weekend of March, if you don't have tickets for that, fans, you need to get tickets early because that's going to be a packed, rowdy house.
All right. That's when it's really fun.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
And I'd like to thank our guests that come on the show and talk about Montana high school sports. Without them, this show would not be possible. And once again, if you like this podcast, please click on the subscribe button below to get alerts when we have up a new podcast.